on, you guys? It's your boy Alex West Collects here, bringing you another figure review. And today we're taking a look at the WWE Mattel Ruthless Aggression Ultimate Edition Eddie Guerrero. This is exclusive to Walmart, yes, unfortunately. But I will say, there might be hope at Walmart. I feel like, I don't know what it is this past week or two. I feel like there's been an influx of figures coming through into stores. Whatever Mattel did for their distribution problems, whether it was Steve or whoever corrected the issues that we've been having with Walmart. Thank you so much. So the Ruthless Aggression Elites kind of have been hitting stores a little more plentiful. I know there's going to be people who are going to sit here and throw some things down in the comments saying, well, not my store. My store hasn't gotten anything. But you've seen it all over social media. There are plenty more figures out there than we've ever seen in a long time at Walmart, right? So the RA Elites are hitting. We're seeing shippers with the SummerSlam Elites. We're getting Elite 100. I mean, I've seen a shipper with like Elite 97, 98, 99, 100, and 101 all in the same shipper, plus the Ruthless Aggression Elites. So if you guys did miss out on any figures that you've been waiting for, I mean, let's be honest. A lot of those figures have been out for a while, right? I even saw one store with like a Top Picks Goldberg. Like that came out like, what, over a year ago? Well, it's crazy. But as far as the store exclusives, those have been the real pain in the ass, right? All these Ruthless Aggression Elites. And now we're into the Ultimate. So this is the first exclusive Ultimate Edition to Walmart. Obviously, we have the Legends that are exclusive to Target with the Elites and the Ultimates. You have the RA Elites and Ultimates exclusive to Walmart. Transition into the Monday Night Wars line. So within this set, the first set that we are getting, it includes Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. I want to send a huge shout out to my good buddy Lou. Thank you so much, man. He was able to score Eddie Guerrero and go on this whole crazy hunt. He found the figures. He was able to stash an Eddie for me. I went to the store to pick him up, and they also had Rey Mysterio, who I did grab, which I will be reviewing after Eddie here. But thank you, Lou, man. This is the best part about the community. We're all helping each other out, especially finding these, hard-to-find figures. And I don't know about you guys. I just sometimes, it's not even a figure I really want. I'll be honest. I don't know if I really, needed this figure right away. It's like an open-ended task on my list, and I'm kind of like, I just want to get over with. I want to get it to be done so I don't have to think about it. So I'm glad I was able to get these a lot sooner than I expected, to be honest, because I know a lot of stores out on the West Coast have been hitting them, finding these guys. They've kind of been trickling over here towards the East Coast, but I feel like I didn't expect to find them so quickly or so easily. So again, thank you to Lou. But obviously, taking a look at the figure and the packaging here. Before we even talk about Eddie Guerrero, it's your standard kind of look, similar to what we've gotten with the Legends figures at Target. You will see it's got the red kind of reverse versus the main line. Got more of the red on the packaging. And an actual Ruthless Aggression here logo on the side. So that is a big difference. You got Guerrero on the top here. On the left, you have the Eddie Guerrero nameplate as well as the image of Eddie. On the back, the awesome figure photography as well as the read-up. Looks really sick. Love it. But before we even crack them out of the packaging, looking at the Easter eggs and all that good stuff, let's talk about this Eddie Guerrero, because obviously a lot of concerns, right, when this figure was revealed, was that torso. And I'm going to get into that. We're going to talk a lot about it, but you can see he does come with quite a few accessories. So you get 2 additional heads. You get the T-shirt. You get the Undisputed Championship belt, interchangeable hands. This looks pretty good for the most part. Obviously, the torso is going to be a sticking point. We'll definitely talk about it, but let's actually open the box. Let's look at the Easter eggs of these sayings for each superstar on the top and the bottom first. So if you're new to the Ultimate Edition line, I personally love this little kind of touch they put on for each character. So that's why I kind of do it for each and every one of my Ultimate reviews. But on the inside, top part of this box for Eddie Guerrero, you have Lie, Cheat, and Steal. And on the bottom, you have Viva la Raza. Here we have Mr. Eddie Guerrero out of his packaging. Before we even jump to the figure, let's look at all the accessories he does come with out of the box. So you do get a set of fisted hands. You will see that the pegs, I like to point this out, do match the actual hand tape, so I love that. Looks really nice. Definitely, I think, puts a nice touch to it instead of having the skin tone peg. You also do kind of get these gesturing hands. I guess they're the Randy Orton kind of posing hands for him to do some different poses here, or different, for figure photography. That looks pretty sick too. You additionally get a cloth Latino Heat t-shirt. I feel like this is an iconic shirt. On the back, it is double-sided, addicted to the heat. And you will see there is no Velcro on this shirt. That is pretty interesting. We did see that with a Solo Sikoa Elite 104. If you guys didn't catch my review, check that out on my channel. He came with a similar shirt. It kind of had a little logo on the back, so I don't think this looks too bad. We'll say on Solo, it was a lot harder to put the shirt on the figure. This will be a little easier because with the Ultimates, not only the heads pop off, the arms do come out of the butterfly joint, so that'll make it a little easier. But I don't know why they don't use that stretchy material. I feel like that's just, I don't know if it's a cost-cutting thing where maybe just costs too much to produce, but it looks nice on the figures. It has a nice snug fit, and it's just easier to get on and off. I know, that's just my personal preference. You also do get the larger Undisputed Championship belt. I feel like we did just get this with the R.A. Brock. I really am a big fan of this belt. Really do like it. It's got the nice back finish. It is got some decent size to it, and we have seen this, again, released prior in the Mattel line. And you get a bunch of interchangeable heads, so the figure itself kind of has that smirking head scan. You guys can see it there. And this kind of has more of a smirk, but some more teeth showing here on the right. On left, you got the screaming scan. I think they all have a decent likeness. I do like the kind of sculpting of the hair. I don't know which is my favorite. I guess we'll kind of determine that as we go on through the video. We'll definitely swap it on the figure to get different looks, but let's bring this head in closer one more time. If you guys want to get kind of some comparison shots or whatever, you know. So let's just get right to it, because I know a lot. It's comical even looking at it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna try to sell you and bullshit you. That's not my style. Never has been on any of my reviews. This torso just doesn't look good. I wanted to, like, when he was in the box, I was like, all right, maybe it doesn't look as bad. It's bad, man. It's just the proportions are just. He's too big. And I know people try to argue Eddie was jacked. Listen, Eddie had some decent size to him. He was never, like, ripped. I mean, let's be honest. I feel like this torso is used on, like, some really ripped guys. Even Triple H has a really ripped torso. Even he wasn't that ripped. It's supposed to be, like, kind of like a superhero-esque. It's an action figure, right? It's supposed to make them look larger than life. But this is just a little too much. And the worst part is, I feel like the legs, they just look short, and I don't even want to say stumpy. It's just the proportions. It's like he looks like a midget. I don't know, man. Just doesn't look good. And that's unfortunate, because I know a lot of people were looking forward to this figure. And it's just like, I don't know what you're thinking. And obviously this falls on design for Mattel. And that's obviously Bill McKenna. From what I heard from interviews, he was tried, people tried to reason with him and say it doesn't look good. But ultimately that was his call. And listen, I'm not knocking Bill at all. He has designed the best wrestling action figures ever, to say the least. You know what? Sometimes I always say it. Nobody bats 1,000. You have a few stinkers there. It's just unfortunate that I know a lot of us wanted this figure as an Ultimate. I know ever since the Ultimate Edition line started, I feel like I've heard Eddie Guerrero's name repeatedly mentioned. Eddie. And here he is. And it's a little disappointing when you've had this big anticipation and you get something that just doesn't look right. There is another Ultimate Eddie, if you guys are not aware, that is coming out. The Monday Night Wars line is replacing this Ruthless Aggression line. Series 1 Ultimates have been announced to be Bret Hart and Roddy Piper from WWF and WCW. For Series 2, right now we do know that Eddie Guerrero is slotted in for your Series 2 Ultimate, his WCW look. Obviously not from the Ruthless Aggression era, so I don't know if that's something with a torso swap or what maybe you want to use down the road, but Mattel did mention that Eddie will probably have a more fitting torso, a smaller torso, especially he was a little smaller during his WCW run. I know a lot of people have mentioned his skin tone is another thing. I mean, I agree he probably wasn't this dark, but I feel like they've always made Eddie Guerrero figures this way. I don't know. It's like the Hulk Hogan figures. Once they kind of have a staple, I don't know if you guys want to go that route and change it. Is it more accurate? Probably, but now you'll have you have a display of like Eddie Guerrero figures. It's just going to look awful. Like my Hulk Hogan display, I have plenty of Hogans. Obviously a whole detail full, and then there's some with the orange tan and some without it. When you have them side by side, it's just like, personally, I'm okay with the skin tone. I know it's not super accurate. There were times where he definitely was a little more tan, but he definitely did have a little bit of a more paler look in his WCW days for sure. But it is what it is. Let's move along with this figure. Now that we've kind of gotten the big major gripes out, you'll see he does have the tattoo detailing on his forearm. He does have the open mic holding hands on the figure itself. Got the wrist tape on here as well. You do get the butterfly joints with the added articulation. That does look nice. You'll see the tights design. So I believe this was what, Legends? I forgot the series, right? Was there a Legends figure that had Eddie Guerrero? Do I want to say Legends Series 6? Also came with the Undisputed title. I feel like I had that figure, and he came with like a non-vac finish belt, man. That was disappointing. I think it was a smaller one too. I have so many figures, have bought and sold and got rid of so many like WWE Mattel figures over the years. It's been 10 plus years. I can't keep track anymore. I feel like I'm losing my mind with all these series, to be totally honest with you guys. But this gear does look pretty nice. You will see kind of got the greens going through it with the black. You got Latino on the back here. Looks really nice. More detailing here. Unfortunately, mine does. Is that a scuff or is that part of the design? Looks like, I don't know. I can't really tell. But all in all, not too bad. He's got the nice detailing on the boots here. Got a little black design on there also. All in all, decent. If you are wondering, he is on ball joints. He does have the drop down hip articulation. So if you guys wanted to get him to kick really nice and high, hit a nice pose frog splash off the top rope, that'll give you some more display options. But I do want to swap out these heads and get the t-shirt on and kind of see how this figure looks. So let's run through the different heads on this Ultimate Edition. So we got the smirking scan here. We have the smirk with more teeth kind of showing through. And we have the screaming scan. And running through all three on the body itself, I think this one may be my favorite. And again, for you guys new to the Ultimate Edition line, the parts are obviously interchangeable. I wanted to do this on camera, so I want to put the shirt on the Ultimate Edition body itself. See how easy it is on camera without any edits. The arms do pop off very easily. They're on there snug. Obviously, they're not going to pop off when you play with them, but give it a little pull. The arms do come off. That is probably going to be the best way to do the shirt. Obviously, it's a sleeveless, and this is going to be a little tighter, I feel, because he does have this wider torso, but we're going to slide it on through the top here. Yeah, definitely. This torso does not make it that easy. You will see a little more of an effort probably. And again, this is where I feel like the stretchy shirts would probably make life a little easier here, but we're going to get it through. We're going on. We're pulling it through here. Almost there. There we go. So you will see the shirt isn't too bad. Again, it is a little snug. You'll see a little, I want to say ripping, but definitely some fabric coming through here on the side. The torso is just so big. Makes it a little harder. It feels like the shirt was designed for a smaller torso, to be honest. But it does have a nice snug fit to it. And let's be honest, once we all have that shirt on with that torso, I don't know if we're actually going to remove it. So let's put all of the different heads on here. If you want to go with the smiling one, that looks pretty good. I'll be honest, that actually does look pretty good once you have the shirt on and you don't have that huge torso kind of showing through. You got the original head with just kind of the smirk. That looks pretty good too. And I really do like the head scans. I feel like they came out pretty well. And let's do the screaming scan, because I feel like this might be my favorite one. Again, Eddie was just very fiery, had a huge personality. That looks pretty good, man. I mean, let me know down in the comments below. Obviously, the torso is really big, but it's not as noticeable once the shirt is put on. For your Eddie Guerrero comparisons, I do have most of the Mattel releases. Not all of them. I am missing the Legend Series 6 figure, which is obviously what this new Ultimate Edition is really based off of. So on the very left here, we have the Legend Series 8 figure. Next to that, we have another Target exclusive. I feel like these were all Target figures. The Eddie Guerrero Latino Heat from the Hall of Fame line. I believe the Ultimate Edition, the WCW one that is supposed to be coming out in the Monday Night Wars line, Series 2, is supposed to be based on a gear similar to this, where it's kind of split with the black and the gold. Personally, I think this is one of my favorite Eddie looks, so I'm very excited for that one. Next to that here on the right, we do have the Hall of Champions. And again, I feel like this skin tone is what a lot of us want to see. So I guess they technically already did it, right? One of the first Eddie Guerrero figures we got. His skin tone was a little lighter. I feel like I agree with you guys. This complexion is probably more accurate than this kind of like orangey tan one we have here. And on the right, we have the Elite 95. There is a chase version of this in the black. Personally, I wanted the green in my collection, so I never actually tried to track that one down. And it's crazy. 3 out of the 5 figures here were Target exclusive. The Legends 8, Hall of Fame, Hall of Champions. So again, there's obviously been many different looks from Eddie. You will see the Ultimate next to these Elites here. He does look significantly wider, right? I feel like that can't be hidden. I did want to try something. I'm just kind of curious. I know this might not be accurate, but so the interchangeable head feature, Just kind of curious to see what this head would look like on the Ultimate body. Doesn't look too bad. It is a little bobbly, and if you guys wanted to see what this head looked like on the Elite 95, why not? Does kind of give him a little bit of that no neck syndrome. So again, and even the torsos, again, you can see how much skinnier he was. I feel like this is the same torso used on all of these releases before. You can see even with the Legend Series 8. So I don't know why in their mind they thought a jacked up torso like a heavyweight would have worked for this Ultimate. Before we wrap up with some final thoughts on this Ultimate Edition Eddie Guerrero figure, if you guys haven't already, please do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button down below. If you guys are enjoying this video review, make sure to turn on those notification bells to stay tuned to the newest WWE Mattel action figure reviews here on my channel. After Eddie Guerrero, we are reviewing the Ultimate Edition Rey Mysterio, so make sure to stay tuned to that review coming up real soon. As far as this Eddie Guerrero figure goes, I'll be honest, there's a lot of things I really do like about this figure. I love the head scans. I feel like they got such a great likeness to Eddie Guerrero. The championship belt is a nice touch to it. It's just nice to have this version of Eddie Guerrero, but I can't get over the fact of this huge torso. With the t-shirt on, I absolutely feel like it does kind of cover it up, but I shouldn't have to, right? This was a $35 figure. It's supposed to be a premium line. Like, this is something that I just don't know how you push this through and say that it looks good, because it really does take away from the figure. And I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest Eddie Guerrero fan. He's not like my favorite, but I feel like this was an iconic, you know, figure from his time in his career where he was probably at his tops. Personally, I grew up with WCW. I loved Eddie Guerrero, you know, in WCW when he was there, even though he wasn't utilized to his full potential until he came to WWE. But, I mean, like I said, a lot of people were looking forward to this. This would be, like, the definitive Eddie Guerrero. Like, if there was a defining moments, like, type figure, like, this is it. Like, him with his, like, championship run, the Latino Heat t-shirt. Even the t-shirt, I don't really like it. I feel like it wasn't a pain in the ass to get on, but I prefer the stretchy shirts, to be honest. And if I appreciate them, you know, not including the Velcro with this one, because you do get the actual image on the back, which is a plus. But personally, just for my taste, I don't know. I feel like it could have been a little better. It has such a snug feel to it. And like I said, if you look on the side, you can see some of that fabric kind of just ripping through. And, you know, another thing that I'm kind of worried about, it's a black t-shirt. I hope this does not stain my figure, but that's something else to worry about down the road. But for the most part, this is probably how I'm going to display them. If you do see them at your local Walmart, I say grab them. You know, I don't know if this is going to be obviously the best Ultimate Eddie Guerrero figure. In my opinion, it's not even the best Eddie Guerrero that we've received so far from Mattel. Personally, I'd have to go with the Hall of Fame figure. I feel like that's, again, Latino Heat, the black and gold split gear. That's probably my favorite. But other than that, it is a decent figure. If you guys do see it in the wild, definitely grab it. Check your local Walmarts. They are starting to hit stores now. But anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at AlexWestCollects. I will catch you all on the next one.